Hello, everybody. This is Tish with Cooking with Colors. Today, I am in the kitchen preparing my apple butter. Yes, my apple butter. Now, apple butter takes a long time to cook, especially if you're doing the crock pot method, which I am going to be doing today. You got to start off with those good, delicious, sweet apples. I decided to go down to the farmer's market and pick up some awesome apples. I believe I have a good 10 pounds of apples with me today. And I did have some extra, this is my second batch, extra apples to make that 10 pound. I needed a couple more. And I had picked up some at the farmer's market to make some candy apples, some Granny Smith, and I know it's a little bit tartar, but guess what? I used it for this, and I had about four, and it came up to that 10 pound. It's because I wanted to make a double batch. So what I'm doing now, I have cleaned all my apples now. I cleaned them real good. And now I am coring the apples with this little apple core that you have to press down on hard, and push the apples out and get the core. Now, them cores, I am not throwing it away. I put it in the freezer for later so I can make some apple scrap jelly. That's an apple scrap jelly from the apple cores and the peels and stuff. I've had to use that, but I didn't use any peels. I didn't have to peel anything, so it's mostly all cores. And so I'm gonna see how the apple scrap jelly works out this year when I make it. But right now, I'm making my second batch of the apple butter. First batch went quickly. I gave a lot out. People enjoyed it. So now I'm putting this other batch with the next set of the apple butter that I'll be selling as well as gifting to my friends, loved ones, and neighbors during the giving season of November that I do each year. I like to make things. I'm a homemaker, so I make bread bags and jar covers as well as bowl covers. During this season, that's when I'm doing it. Quilts. I'm doing this so it can go with my bread that I make, homemade breads, as well as the apple butter that I'm doing, and the jellies and jams if I decide to do some more of those. Also, I have been making some uh, spicy cowboy candy also. So what I'm doing, I had got all my apples cored, and now I am chopping it with my I forgot what that machine called. It just went blank. But anyway, I'm chopping it with the machine I have here. The chop up our apples in little cubes, so it'll be easier when cooking. Now with this recipe, with the crock pot method, they say you do not have to peel the apples. Just core it, chop them up, and put them in a crock pot. Simple as you can do. It takes approximately 10 hours covered and 2 hours uncovered. And so approximately 12 hours altogether to cook this this delicious apple butter. It's very good, and I think it turned out so well because of the apples that you use. I use Fuji apples, Golden Delicious, and it was another apple. I'm so sorry, I can't remember what the other apple was, but I used three different apples for this, and they are the sweetest apples that I had looked up. It's quite a few other ones, but these are the ones that was growing during the season, and they was in the farmers market. I mean, in the farm stand farmers market, locally grown. So I'm chopping up all these apples that I have just cored, so I can be able to put it in a crock pot and put the rest of the ingredients with it. If you have not subscribed to my channel, hey, please hit that subscribe button and subscribe to my channel. I thank you so much for being awesome subscriber and fellow watcher of my videos. I just thank y'all so much for taking your time out of the day just to watch my videos and everything. But I am gracious, and I ask God to continue to bless your channel as well as your family over and over again. But let's get back to the video. Well, anyway, let me tell you, chopping these apples was not difficult at all with this slicer here. I love this. I had picked it up from yep, I think I got it from Walmart. And it comes with different blades inside. I'm not affiliated with Walmart or any of that, but I'm just telling you, if it's a product that is very good and I've been using, hey, I will tell you about it. When I first used this, it was so good that I hurt my finger. I really did hurt my finger. I was making zucchini bread and I ended up cutting on the side because I decided not to use the piece that will hold the zucchini while I was shredding it. Now, you know, I should have been putting it on the piece to let it shred, but no, I want to hold it. And the blade was so sharp. And I had to do some work on healing this hand. Thank you, Lord, for the healing. Well, anyway, I'll be chopping up the rest of the apples. And I will come back on the next step that's going to take place after all these apples are chopped. Okay, stay tuned. We are back. Now all the apples are chopped and now I am preparing for the crock pot method. As you can see, I have my crock pot over here and this is an awesome crock pot. This is one that when it's done, it cuts off. I love these type of crock pots. I had picked it up, of course, from a yard sale. Maybe I paid about $5 for it. It was brand new. Matter of fact, this one came from a estate sale. That's where. And I really enjoyed my crock pot. So what we doing, I'm getting all the measurements, looking at my recipe to make sure I have all the ingredients over there by where I need to be able to put in this apple butter, all the spices and seasoning, everything that need to be in there. Now I didn't put all my apples in the crock pot. I left some in there and I left some in a bowl. So it's easy for me to dump all the spices that I need in the bowl with the apples and stir those up. And the sugars to stir them up. So it then dump it on top of the other apples because it's so many. I wasn't be able to stir it all up in the crock pot. So I know it was going to go all the way up to the top. And so I have to let it cook down some before I can stir it into the bottom. So what we're doing now, I'm going to be preparing the sugars and everything else in here in this bowl right here, empty bowl, and then I'll be adding the other apples in it. So first I have some brown sugar I will be putting. That's a half a cup of brown sugar that I'm dipping in first, and it's going to be packed brown sugar I'm putting in here. And this the only type of, I guess you can call white sugar, because you know brown sugar is made with white sugar and molasses. Once you put those two together, you got brown sugar. So well, I bought that from the store, and I am putting that in it, pure cane sugar, and everything else I use sugar from the raw from there. That is 1 cup so far, because I got 2 half a cups, and then let's see how many more I put in there because I couldn't remember what the recipe was. I pack it down and then I put another half a cup. So altogether that's 1.5 cup of brown sugar. That seemed like a lot, but you have a lot of apples. I have 10 pounds of apple chopped up and ready to go in. The next thing I will be placing into this bowl of deliciousness will be my spices. I will have the full ingredients and how to use it in the description box below, so you can be able to follow the recipe if you like. So I'm going to be adding my sugar from the raw. That's the sugar I use in all my baking goods. Anything I'm baking, I'm using sugar from the raw. So I'm adding cups of that. So that's 2 cups of sugar from the raw. I think that was a cup and a half of brown sugar. I believe that's what it was on that recipe. Um, or maybe it was a cup. I can't remember. I think it was supposed to have been a cup and a cup of brown sugar, cup of sugar from the raw. I'm believing that's what it's supposed to be. But like I say, I will be posting it in below in the description. I'm going to be adding some allspice as well as brown um, cinnamon into this mixture before I mix it all with the apples. So all these spices is very important. It's almost like you're making an apple pie, or you know how you make your sweet potato pies. You're using mostly the same spices into the bowl to help get that flavor up. Now, you know, the apples is already sweet, really, and you can always cut back on your sugars. You don't have to put that much in there, but because it's cooking down, it's going to be processed and everything, you want it to be sweet because it's a butter, it's a jam, it's a spread. We have sweetness when we spread on our breads and everything else. So apple butter ain't the same if it's not sweet. I'm sorry, it's good. So I'm putting all my spices in here. Um, ground nutmeg, I think nutmeg and spices. The nutmeg, I believe it was cinnamon, the sugars. I add vanilla. I can't remember. I think that was it. Or and also maybe allspice. I wasn't for sure. Like I say, I'll put the description at the bottom for you all. Now, once I have gotten all this, now one thing I'm gonna tell you what I did. I put the vanilla right here, which they say in the ingredients to put the vanilla. Once the 10 hours up and you're going into the 2 extra hours, that's when you place vanilla. But I do vanilla twice. I put it in at the beginning and then I put it in at the end as well. Now putting in nutmeg. I think that was cloves I put in there first. So I'm putting in nutmegs now. Nutmeg. And now I'm about to stir that up and get ready to put the apples in. That's when I added my allspice. Now, I don't think allspice is in that green, but you know, I got to add my little extra stuff to it. So I'm going to stir all the sugars and the spices up and everything and get it all the clumps out. Just stir it up real good. And once I have done this, I'm going to add that to that bigger bowl where I have half of the apples in. And then we're going to make the magic happen. You should smell this kitchen. It smells so sweet. And it's going to smell even better once the apples start cooking. You know, the holidays come around, you start smelling that sweetness, that good savory smells from your kitchen. I remember back when my grandmother used to be cooking, my mom used to be cooking. Oh my God, then I started cooking for the family. But I tell you, them smells always been so warming. You knew the holidays were coming. You knew family time was coming. You knew it was going to be that fellowship with each other. Because that smell was breathtaking. I loved it. So I dumped it in with the rest of the apples. And I put all the sugars in and mixed it all up very well. And once I have done this, it will be going into that crock pot ready for that 10-hour process. It's good to do this at night so you don't have to worry about it. Go to sleep, wake up, it's ready. Or you also can do it during the daytime when you're doing work around the house all day long or whatever else, and you just got that on, working all during the day. And then at night, by 6 o'clock, you can be able to take the 2 hours more and you can have it uncovered, stir it here and there, and it'd be done by 8. But if you want to be able to process that during the morning, do it at night. Do it at night. Have it cook overnight. And when you get up in the morning, do the other 2 hours and then process it in the morning. You be done by the afternoon. Hey, that's the best way to go because you don't really want to use your canner or your any type of canner you have in the middle of the day. It seems like it runs up your electricity. That's what they say. I know in the summertime we use the air conditioner a lot, but you don't want to use so much things all during the daytime as well. At night we don't use as much. So I like to process mine overnight. I think this recipe I did early morning. So now if you see, I'm trying to bring it a little bit closer so you can see how lovely this apples look. Oh my goodness, it's off the chain. It looked wonderful. Now everything is inside. Of course, I'm cleaning as I go. I can't stand to have a nasty kitchen. Oh no. Anytime I see something, I'm wiping. So now I have the apples, see, all spiced up, sugar's all in it, and they're ready for that 10-hour cooking time. So getting it straightened up here, put the top on it, and I'm about to set this timer on this crock pot on low, slow cook on low. That's right, for 10 hours. And I will see you back when we close to our hours up. Now we are back. I am adding that extra dash of that vanilla. I'm in my 2 hour process now. We done completed 10 hours and now we in that 2 hour stretch. Now I have my merge blender, which I use to blend down things very fine, like a soup when I do my tomatoes to make my tomato sauce. So we're going to blend up these apples very fine, like a sauce, like applesauce. We're going to get this thing blend up very good, and this take a little time to do. Now, I didn't hold it down some, and I think of some of my apples splash on. It's very hot. They splashed on the wall, and I had to clean up some apples that decided to take over my kitchen a little bit for me not holding this emerge blender down properly. So I had to make sure this was held down in the crock pot to blend up all of these apples. So it's going to take a minute. So once this is done, I will have the next 2 hours will be uncovered. But of course, I'm not going to leave my food uncovered with nothing on it over it because I don't want any bugs or anything. I don't have bugs in my kitchen. But sometimes when you're dealing with a lot of fruits and veggies from the garden, you will get fruit flies and different little net stuff come around in your kitchen, especially me because I do a lot of veggies and I store a lot of scraps. So I will have to control those, anything. I don't want to see nothing. So I use these tent covers that you use for when you have picnics. I use them for to cover up my bread. So when they're cooling on the racks, you'll see them in a little bit, little netted covers, look like little umbrellas you pop up. And I put that over top of my crock pot so it can stay covered, but it is open because it's like a little netting over top of it so nothing can come in, but it still get the ventilation so it can cook down some of the juice, the water in it, so then it will be able to get more thicker because that's what we want, the consistency of a thicker butter, apple butter. Now, not the thin soupy, we want a nice thick spread so we can spread over top of our breads and biscuits. So I want to make sure it's nice and thin and fine and smooth. So I'm taking my time with this and making sure my apple butter is very smooth and being careful because this pot is hot. It's very hot. Very hot. And you don't want to burn yourself. You don't want any third-degree burns because that is serious. So we're going to keep working on this until it is done and preparing for the next 2 hours. Now we are ready. We are ready for the next step. We're going to stir up this apple butter, make sure everything is smooth and incorporated together. And then I'm going to put my tint over top of it and going to let it stay uncovered for 2 more hours. And then the apple butter will be ready for canning. Yes, it'll be ready for canning or put in your refrigerator or time to eat. Of course, I had to take me a little spoonful to see was that taste on point. Of course, guess what? It was on point. I noticed that it was a little bit more little pieces in there. So, I wanted to make sure that thing was smoothed out like it's supposed to be. So I went back in with my merge blender to make sure it is nice and smooth like butter. It has to spread on this bread that I'm making to go with it like butter. So I had to make sure it was just right for it. So we're going to work on this and work on this. Now, if I haven't told you before, I thank you all for tuning in to my page and my channel. And thank you for being a subscriber. Now, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. Please come and subscribe to my channel. I'm almost to my monetized number and I need your help. I would love to have you part of my channel. Love to have my viewing hours to go up, but I can't do it alone. I need your help to do it. So go ahead and click that like, share, and hit that bell to get notified when more videos come out. And go ahead and watch some more of them videos that I have out there. I thank you so much and continue to be you are continuing to be a great supporter of my channel. All right, I am done with that merge blender now. It's time to put that up to get ready to put that cover on top of that apple butter. Yes, that apple butter for the last 2 hours. I always got to clean up. Always got to clean up. It's just a habit. My mama always been telling me years and years and years. It's just grounded in my head. Clean as you go. Clean as you go, so you won't have a lot of stuff to clean at the end. So I keep that in mind every time I'm cooking. So as you see, it is ready for the next 2 hours. And here comes the tint. This is why I was telling you that I put over top of my apple butter to protect it from anything flying in it during the uncovered session of making the apple butter. Now here we are at the end. I have pressure canned all the apple butter. Now they are ready to be wiped off, the lids and everything else to be ready to be given out and stored. I am cleaning off the lids and making sure they are ready to be packaged and ready to be given out as gifts. Well, I hope you all enjoyed this this video of my apple butter making. And just make sure when you get done with the pressure canning process, I canned this for, what was it? 20 minutes or 10 minutes on 10 pound pressure for 20 minutes. I had to remember. I think it was 20 minutes or 10, one or the other. 10 pounds of pressure. And then I was done. So, no, I'm sorry. It was water bath can. Excuse me. Water bath can. No pressure in, just water bath can for 15 minutes. That's what it was. I believe it was 15 minutes or, yeah, around about 15 minutes. Well, I'll let you know in the description. Well, anyway, it's done now. They done popped the seals. It's the next day, and I am cleaning the jars off very well to get ready for labeling it and as well as packaging it for my customers as well as those who will be gift some apple butter this season. This is my first year doing apple butter. I never did it before, and it turned out very well because I took one of them out and had it, and it was left over, so I had something to be able to put in the refrigerator. And then I had to open up another can because, hey, that little bit was not enough for my bread, the English muffin bread that I made to go well with this apple butter. So I thank you all for tuning in and watching my video. Thank you for subscribing, and just thank you for being a part of the journey I am with canning and cooking and doing what I do as a homemaker. Thank you so much for being a part of my community. And it's a blessing to have those people that will stay in and listen, and to just want to hear what I have to say. And I just want to thank you for that. Be blessed, and thank you so much for all what you do. Bye now.